what we did was we really looked at what was the essence of Doom. You know, really studying like Doom 1 and 2 and sort of what made those games great. You know, Doom 1 specifically, and then we tried to take those elements and build up from there. You know, we wanted this Doom game to be a worthy part of the franchise and really capture the essence and feel like Doom of what Doom was. And Doom was always about combat. Doom is not about story. We wanted to make a game that was fast and fun and something that really, and Doom 1 and 2 were totally that. So that's why we kind of look more at those games from a gameplay perspective, sort of the feel of it and how it played, how fast and fluid it was, and that was kind of what the main touchstone for this game was. I mean, we love all the games that it had made. I mean, we feel like they're all special, you know, in their own way, and definitely Doom 3. I mean, that was a great game. So there's I think some visual elements that we carried over from Doom 3, from the original Doom, and certainly some of the mood that was in Doom 3 and some of the visual style that was in Doom 3 is definitely in our game. But of course, Doom 1 and 2 was definitely a huge influence on this game as well.
Big guns, awesome enemies, you know, fast-paced movement, very inspired by kind of the classic Doom 1 and 2.
I mean, that's it. It was mostly like, you know, what is Doom? What feels like a Doom game? You know, of course, that's a huge part of it. Those things you said, key cards, secrets, things like that. So we look to kind of infuse as much of that in our game as possible. And we have one of our principal designers, Jason O'Connell. He actually plays Doom 1 and 2, you know, while he builds his levels, and I think he's done a great job of infusing a lot of that, you know, classic Doom feel into our game. Everyone working on the project is just a huge fan of the original and spent hours and hours and hours and hours, you know, studying it, and it's always, you know, top of mind when we're discussing features to put in our game and what feels right, what doesn't feel right. And so we really let that game, you know, kind of inform a lot of our decisions. And then, yeah, I mean, key cards, it's a huge part of Doom, so we wanted to make sure that that stuff was represented.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is unusual. It's unusual that it actually gets to happen. I give a lot of credit to Bethesda actually for supporting us through something like that, because it's not an easy decision. You definitely don't just wake up one morning and be like, well, what are we doing? You know. So it is. It's a lot of discussions. It's hard to put your finger on any one thing that is a point, but you know, when you get to a certain point, you're playing something a lot, and for us, it was just a feeling that what we were making wasn't exactly what Doom needed to be, and it wasn't that what that was bad or anything like that, and there are a lot of people, many of which are still here, that had spent a lot of time on that. So you don't take stuff like that lightly, and you really kind of you be analytical about it. So I mean, that's kind of what we did, and it's an important thing. Doom is Doom. It's a big brand. So you know, we took a step back and said, what do we want this to be? We weren't making what we felt like it should be, so really what should it be? And put together really something that's very, very close to what we have.
Doom is a game that stands on its own. I mean, like, if you're a fan of the franchise and you played the originals, you're gonna pick up on, you know, some of the nods to the original. If you've never played a Doom game, you're gonna enjoy it regardless, because it's a game that stands on its own. Definitely, there's a lot of depth to the game from a progression standpoint. There's a lot of meaningful progression in the game. There's something there for players that gives them an opportunity to customize their gameplay experience to whatever fits their play style. You know, we kind of think of the player as a gladiator, as an F-22 fighter jet, and you can equip that fighter jet any way you want it, to make it build for speed, or you could build it for defense, for defense and all armored up, and the progression in the game is going to give you that opportunity. For players who want to play it straight, there's definitely an opportunity to upgrade your character. You don't have to, it's not all about secrets, but certainly exploring every inch of the world is only going to make you a more efficient player. Whatever's fun, that's most important. Whether or not, that's it. We would play it, play test it, have people play it, and we feel like if they were enjoying themselves and it was a fun experience, then it'd be a part of our game. Of course, not everything goes in, not everything that we tried worked, but we feel like ultimately people are responding to it because it's fun, that's what's most important. That was the key to us. It sounds kind of obvious, but like, our main mantra was don't take ourselves too seriously with anything that we put into the game. Like, I think you noticed that there's a bit of humor in our game. It's not necessarily we're making jokes. We're not campy, but we're not space opera serious either. We're kind of in the middle. And I think with the tone of things, for example, you kill the Mancubus by ripping out his heart, stuffing it down his throat. He burps and then he blows up. So we feel like that's kind of in line with the tone that it is that we wanted this game to have. And so everything about the game kind of feels like that. So it's all done with a wink and a smile. Honestly, 80s heavy metal album covers are a massive inspiration for this game, as they were for, for the original game. And it's huge. And who doesn't like that? You know what I mean? Like, we just felt like that's Doom. That's what feels like Doom, and that stuff is all over our game. It's in our, it's in our characters. Very rock and roll. It's everywhere in this Doom game.
Honestly, I think we've gotten better at honing visually and stylistically and creatively what that project is, what Doom is over the course of this development cycle now. I think we have a really good handle on what Doom is.